Okay, I'm going to go through the bread process here really fast. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on this like I do on the full walkthrough. I just want to make sure you see the steps involved. So the first thing we're doing here is going to be step 1, 2, and 3. And I've already shown you how to do that in a video. So again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that in this illustration. Just go ahead and select it. I'm going to select the move tool. I'm going to move it over to here. Oops. If that happens, Control Z. X. Now watch these right here. X on the keyboard. Now we have black over white. Good. Now it'll move just fine. Okay, good. That's about where I want it. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is, of course, deselect, Control Delta. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the regular lasso tool. I'm going to be using the regular lasso tool on each tool. Then I'll start using the polygonal as it says in the book. So I selected that. I'm going to move it over to here, right about there. You'll notice that right now I have show transform controls turned off. It's just easier to work with it right now. Control Delta. I'm going to go ahead and put a selection around this one right here. Again, I showed all of this in a detailed video called Getting Started on Bread. So I'm just going to move this up and out of the way. Okay, Control Delta. This time I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select this a little bit more carefully. Select there. Make sure you, okay, good. This time we are going to show transform controls. Come on. I'm going to hold the control key down. Drag to there. Good. Drag to there. Good. Okay. And Control Delta. Okay, what does it tell me to do now? It wants me to do the percent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accept the transformation. The transformation, remember, is changing the size or of the appearance of an object by altering its size or shape. Show transform controls. I'm now going to turn back off because it's just going to be a nuisance. Control Delta to get rid of those lines. Good. Now the book says to be using the Polygonal Lasso tool. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the Polygonal Lasso tool here. I cut a little piece off there. So I'm going to hit escape and start again. Good. Circle there. Good. Magic Wand tool, make sure that contiguous is checked. I showed you that on doing step 4 and what contiguous does, making sure subtractive is selected, and I'm going to click right there. Good. I'm going to go ahead and use the move tool. I press the letter Victor on my keyboard and move this up to here. Good, kind of like it shows in the picture. Now, before I deselect it, I'm going to hold the Alt key down. I'm going to drag the duplicate of that one to right about here. Good. Release. Now I'm done. Control Delta. Next thing I'm going to choose is this piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead again, and I'm going to use the Polygonal Lasso tool. Oops, I'm close to the edge of the checkerboard. I had to fix something there. Finish. Good. Okay. Back to the Magic Wand tool, subtract all that stuff, click there, back to the Move tool, and I'm going to go ahead and move this to right about here. Don't want to overlap the sale sign because we're going to move the sale sign in a minute. Now I'm going to hold the Alt key, and I'm going to move the duplicate of that to right about there as you see it in the picture. It's not exactly where it shows in the picture, but we'll live. Okay, the main thing I'm looking for, and I'm going to tell you this, is I'm going to be looking just to make sure you have the two and that they're fully in the picture. The exact positioning matching what's in the book, not really worried about it. Control Delta. Okay, the next one we're going to move, and then it just says to start moving things to make it look like the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, here, here. Only reason I'm using the Polygonal Lasso tool is because the book says to use it. There, okay. V, oops, not V, Magic Wand tool. Subtract, now V for move. Okay, and we're going to move this guy to right about here. Good. Control Delta. We're going to move this one next. Polygonal Lasso tool. Don't worry about the shadows that are left. I see those shadows, and I'm going to show you how we're going to get rid of them in a few minutes. We're not really worried about it right now. Right now, we're just getting the pieces moved. Okay, Magic Wand, subtract, move tool. Come on, move. Move it to here. Yeah, that looks about right. Control Delta. Next one is this one. Polygonal Lasso tool. You can tell my computer's acting a little bit slow because there's a pause between when I click and when it does something. And this one was right about here. Good. Okay, next thing we're going to do is move the sale sign. Control Delta. For that one, I'm just going to come up here and use the elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to put a big circle around that sign. You see how that sign has a circle around it now? Make sure it's not touching the thing. Now remember, if that circle's not where you want it while you're still holding the left mouse button, you can hit the space bar, and holding the space bar, you can move that selection to wherever you want it. Good. That's nice. Okay, back to the magic wand tool, making sure contiguous is still checked, and click. Good. Move tool. Moving the sale sign to right about, it shows it right about here. Okay, good. And Control Delta. Next thing I'm going to do is crop the image, and cropping the image was probably step 8. No, subtract from selection. It's here somewhere. Anyways, next thing we're going to do is crop the, move this. That's step 11. We're doing step 11. There we go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is crop the image. We're going to go to the crop tool. Take to up there. Remember to not be cutting anything off. We're going to fix these shadows in a minute. Do not panic and don't wonder why I'm ignoring them. Okay, good. So now I'm going to finish the cropping selection by clicking on the check mark. Your check mark's right about here. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to get rid of those. So first thing I'm going to do is Control-0 to make it full screen. And then I'm going to go to the brush tool. Now that I'm using the brush tool, I want white over black. So I can press this little thing right here, or I can press the letter X on my keyboard, and that reverses foreground background tool. Now I've got the brush tool selected. I'm going to go ahead and pick a solid one. I clicked on the drop triangle right there, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and make that circle a little bit bigger by using the square bracket key furthest from the letter P. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to paint over these really fast. Yeah, that's all we're doing. It's nothing exciting, no special tool, just paint. Just make sure you're not dragging it over anything that matters. If it does, of course, as you know, you're going to immediately press Control-Z, as in Zulu, to undo it. Good. The only thing left now is to do our name. And our name's going to be pretty easy here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the type tool, the horizontal type tool. I'm going to find a font I like, and I think I used that Sergio print on the last one. That was okay. It doesn't matter which one you use. Now, don't forget, this is still pretty big here, so we're going to go ahead and make our bounding box. I'm going to start right about here. I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button. Don't just click. Press and hold. Release. Good.
Did you put your name on this one too?
Okay, so we're going to put our name here. Because this is such a big picture, I want a 72-point font here. Okay, you can actually type in a bigger number if you want. Like I could type in 95 if I wanted. Okay. Bold is available for this font. If it's not available, that's not a problem. You'll come over here and you click on this guy right here, and you'll just select full bold. Okay, false bold. Now, in this box up here, I'm gonna. And by the way, because I was clicking on other stuff while I did it, I did click back in this. Now I'm going to change the color by clicking on this square right here. Remember, I'm going to leave that square, and I'm going to come down here to the red of the tablecloth. Okay, now I'm going to type my name. Good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is commit to that change. And now we're going to apply a stroke to our typing. So I'm going to come down here to the Add Layer Style button. Click on Add Layer Style. Stroke. Again, I'm going to move this box by going up to right about here, and I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button to move the box. I just want to move it a little way so I can see that blue. Okay, so now I'm going to come out here. I'm going to click right about there to get that nice dark blue. Okay, and because I'm going to change this to about 5 point on this one, 5. Okay, good. Okay, so now we've got that applied. Let's go ahead and save. Now, because I'm doing this in class, I'm going to be doing a save as, and this is going to go to my pictures. It's going to go to Photoshop, and I'm actually doing this in class 3B. So now I'm going to just go ahead and change that to edited. And save. Yes, remember, you can click on Don't Show Again. Good. Okay, so we've saved it. Now, the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to resize it. So image size, and I'm going to come down here to width right here. I'm going to change that to 6. Okay. If you care, you can press Control-0 if it makes you feel better to see it full size again. Okay, now that we've done that, we're just going to now save it as a JPEG. File, Save As, and now I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go find that top JPEG option. You notice that's actually the only JPEG option. The other one's JPEG 2000, the other one's JPEG Stereo. So the top JPEG option, and I'm going to click on Save. Yeah, we want maximum quality here. We could slide that over the rest of the way. It really doesn't matter. And OK. And now you've saved. The next thing to do is just turn this in Canvas. And that was doing the entire bread assignment.